As Pope Francis has declared this a year of prayer, it seems fitting that we take time to respond in prayer and a reflective fashion to some of his words, encouraging us to find joy in the gospel and joy in our community with the Margaret Beaufort Institute. I offer some thoughts today on paragraphs 5 through 8 of his apostolic exhortation, Evangelii Gaudium. Of the many passages Pope Francis quotes, I first was engaged by the passage in John 15:11, where Jesus tells his followers, "I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete." Pope Francis comments, quote, "Our Christian joy drinks of the wellspring of his brimming heart," unquote. This image calls to mind to me a crystal clear spring flowing with the ability to bring us cool reprieve on a warm summer day, quenching a thirst we all have for feelings of connection and comfort. The exhortation cautions us to be Easter people, not living in a perpetual Lent, lamenting our difficulties. We can have joy if we are open to adapting and changing when necessary, constantly aware that we are, quote, infinitely loved, unquote. This involves a resistance to temptations to excuse and complain about situations that make us unhappy. Our society often equates happiness with pleasures, which are surface level and temporary sensations. Our call is for a deeper and more permanent joy in the knowledge of the love of God. And this is based, as Pope Francis reminds us, not on circumstances, but on the encounter with the living word of God in the gospel that liberates us from our narrowness and self-absorption. These 4 paragraphs invited me to believe that we must embrace the ways in which our institute is held in the loving arms of God during a threshold period of discernment this Lent. In the still fresh aftermath of the global pandemic, academic institutions throughout the world are facing paradigm shifts, and our institute is navigating these shifts with care and with prayer. We are invited to return to this stream of joy, to hold the staff, council, association, and trustees in our thoughts and prayers today as we yearn for them to know how the Margaret Beaufort Institute calls forth the quenching power of the love and joy Christ brings to us through the gospel. For if we have received this love, which restores meaning to our lives, how can we fail to share that love with others? And we are invited in this next week to think of the many ways in which we can share that love with others.